Okay, this video is about refilling these small little 1-pound propane tanks that run your stove. They run lanterns, propane lanterns. They run torches. They run those catalytic converter heaters. There's quite a few good YouTube videos, but people are leaving out important things that everyone's scratching their head about. And one is, can you overfill it? And if you do overfill it, will it explode? You know, that's a real important one, which nobody's mentioned on YouTube. You know, they show you how they refill them, but they don't tell you, can you overfill it and, you know, blow up and get hurt and all that kind of stuff. There's a couple of things that are being left out. Also, okay, the valves. There's a special valve that's used, you know, to hook this up. And actually, I shouldn't be calling it a valve. It's another thing nobody's really talking about. I'm going to show you the gizmo, how you hook up either you got 20-pound or I've got 30-pound propane tanks, and you're going to be transferring your liquid propane from this tank down to these little tanks, okay, to the 1-pound tanks. Okay, now these, like I say, it really is not a valve. I put it on here so you can see. Normally this is what's hooked up, as you can see there. Okay, so this just screws on. This valve is closed right now. So basically the same type of hookup as you got on your propane tanks normally. So these go clockwise. There's another type of valve where you have to go counterclockwise. I recommend this type of valve because it's real easy. This is clockwise, and when you hook up the tank here, I'm doing this on a smartphone, so it's hard for me to do all this. Okay, what you're gonna be doing is also going in clockwise. You know, clockwise. So it makes it real easy. This was only about, I don't know, with shipping, maybe 15 bucks. I got it on Amazon. That's the type I would recommend for doing your 1-pound tanks, you know, for filling them up. Okay, but just to show you, this is not, there's no valves in here. There's no one-way valves or anything. Propane will flow in this direction and it'll flow in that direction. That's something nobody's actually stated on all the YouTube videos I've seen. This is not a valve. All it is an adapter. It has this adapter for your main big tanks, 20, 30-pound tanks or what have you, and this adapter adapts to your 1-pound tank. So just realize gas is going in both directions. This is just a way to hook it up. In other words, okay, right now I'll just turn this on. Okay, you can hear the gas coming out. Now, when you screw on your 1-pound tank, you have to turn, you know, your 20-pound, 30-pound tank, whatever you're using, you got to turn it upside down because you want the liquid part, not that gas you just heard. You want the liquid in here to go into the 1-pound tank. So this right now, let's just say this is half full. Okay, and this is all liquid here, and what you just heard was the gas part, which is what you need to run all these different propane devices. Okay, but to get the liquid part into the 1-pound tank, you have to turn this thing upside down. Okay, so you got to get it on a table, stabilize it somehow, and then you're just going to be transferring the liquid. You don't want to be transferring the gas. So that's all this is. It's just an adapter. Very cheap way. It can save you a ton of money. I'll get into that in a second or two. So that's all there is to it. I can't right now demonstrate, turn this over, but you could see how easy it is to hook this up and hook up your 1 pound tank. Okay, the thing I'll get into now is weighing. You want to weigh this properly. You definitely need a scale. Okay, I'm going to turn this on. Okay, this is an empty tank. That's an empty one, and that's a full one. An empty tank weighs around 13 ounces. Okay, and we'll take that off. And a full tank has 1 pound of propane, which is 16 ounces, plus the 13 ounces. So it should be around 29 ounces. So let's just check that out. We'll put that on there. 1 pound, 13 ounces. So that's 29 ounces. Okay, so that's a full tank. It's never been used. And that's when we fill up this empty one, we want to see 1 pound, 13 ounces, or 29 ounces on your scale. Okay, now that takes a little practice. Typically, you can, screw on the empty tank for like 2 minutes. Like I say, when you're screwing that tank on here, onto that adapter, which I already took off, just make sure this is closed, this valve is closed. And then after you waited the 2 minutes, after you've opened it up, wait 2 minutes, then close this valve again, then screw off the tank. Don't screw off the adapter going on here, screw off the tank. And the reason is, like I say, that adapter, gas goes either way. If you screw off the tank first, well, with the tank still on there, I hope I'm not getting too confusing here. The propane that's now in that small tank will shoot out of the adapter. So you want to leave the adapter hooked up to the tank and unscrew just to this tank, and just unscrew the small 1 pound tank. And I hope I'm not getting confusing here. So now if you overfill, you don't have to worry. Here's the big thing. You don't have to worry about anything exploding. These tanks, yeah, you could overfill it, but it's not going to explode. You don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Okay, right here, that's a pressure relief valve. Okay, it's very sensitive to pressure inside the tank. And if the tank senses a certain amount of pressure, this valve here will pop up and release the propane. It won't blow up or anything. And overfilling it with liquid propane will never cause a lot of pressure in here, because liquids cannot be compressed. And that, they're not a gas. A gas, when you compress it, it gets very hot. As long as this tank isn't, thrown in a campfire, where you put a torch to it, you don't have to worry about this valve here, opening up. But if you put it out in the desert sun, it's 135 in the in the sun, it's possible it could build up enough pressure where that valve might open up. But that's all. As long as there's no flame, heat source nearby, you don't have to worry about these, catching a flame or anything. If you threw it in a campfire, this valve would open up, and then it would turn into a torch, basically. It would start shooting out a flame. And it could explode, if you're dealing with that type of temperature. But you don't have to worry about leaving it too long, say, on your 20 or 30 pound. All that's, it's not going to build up pressure, because, like I say, liquids are not pressurized. You can't pressurize liquid. You can't compress liquid. You can't compress water. You can't compress any liquids. So just, don't worry about that part of it. If you happen to, put too much liquid propane in, you put it on your scale and it weighs, instead of 29 ounces, it weighs, say, 32 ounces. I would recommend, just not because of a worry of this exploding or anything, you need a certain amount of space up here where there's no liquid, so the liquid propane can turn into a gas, and that's what you need. That gas is what runs everything. It's not the liquid. That's why these tanks are only filled up maybe up to here. The rest is air initially, and then the liquid turns into a vapor up here, and that's what runs everything. So the only thing you're going to be doing, if you fill up this with liquid all the way to the top, it's probably not going to run anything, because you need that vaporized propane. So all you do, if you weigh it and it's over 29 ounces, what I use is an Allen wrench, and you're just going to be sticking it straight down into that hole there. Push straight down, and you're going to be releasing the propane when you do that. There's a little tiny pin valve which releases the the propane and the gas. Don't fiddle with this. I've seen guys with putting needle nose pliers in there and doing all kinds of weird stuff. You could cause a leak here, and that's a very sensitive pressure relief valve. Don't release the pressure here. Just go in here with something like a nice round, like a hex tool, Allen wrench, something like that. Just push it straight down and release it, and keep weighing it. Check your weight. And when you're at about 29 ounces, you're going to have plenty of room up here for that liquid propane to turn into a gas. So hopefully, I think Mythbusters, they used to have a good show. They should do something about that. That kind of thing, and exploding these tanks and stuff. Anyway, nice, quick, easy fix. Get cheap tanks like these. I didn't check the price recently at Walmart, but they can run like $3 a piece, $4 a piece. If you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's sometimes these hardware stores that they're in the highway robbery. I've heard of people paying up to $9 a piece for these things. But filling it up yourself, I figured out today's prices in April 2021, I'm paying $1.43 for a tank. Just keep your old tank. You're going to have to buy one or two, and then just keep the old expelled ones. And then when you fill them up, $1.43 versus even $3 or $4, you're going to be saving yourself $20 a week. Like I know one person was using a Mr. Buddy heater in the cold weather. He was going through 2 tanks a day, so he'd be saving $22 a week. But so anyway, I hope that helps. Now there is law, federal law forbids the transportation of one of these tanks if it's refilled. So you should know that law. It's not against the law to fill one up in your home or anything else, but to put one in a vehicle and travel with it after it's been refilled, at least these tanks, it would be considered breaking the law. So I wanted to throw that in. And there are kits that have tanks that are rated much higher than these refill propane kits. I think they're over $100 though. But the tank is rated to be refilled, and it's legal on those tanks. If you want to spend, I think like $125 or whatever, and be totally legal, especially if you're transporting them or whatever in a vehicle. You can do that. I don't think anybody is, but maybe a few people are. So I think that's about all I wanted to talk about. This is Eagle Eric out in the desert, California. getting up to 110, 120, and it's only April, not even mid-April, in the sun. And really, that's all you have out here. You have almost no shade. So anyway, hopefully that dispels some myths and answers some of those important questions that you might have been thinking about as far as refilling these tanks. Okay, it's an adapter. So just realize there's nothing shutting gas in either direction. Just always, as long as you understand that principle, you'll never hook it up wrong. Okay, this is Eagle Eric signing out.